stop in to um, give a little bit of inspiration for today. Just making sure of where I am and if I'm on both Facebook and YouTube. Oh, I'm on Facebook. I can see myself there. Just bring it up on my phone. I have not been in all week, so I thought I would stop in. Kind of knew the last time I came in that I wouldn't be in for a few days, but I'm here for a quick visit, not a long visit, a quick visit. I am working this week with clients and teaching, so my days are pretty jam-packed, really, really full this week. So finding time to get in here is really, really hard. Good morning, Missy and Samuel. Good morning, and Shauna and Lucy. Good morning. Happy Easter. Yes. So nice to see you back. And Catherine, welcome, welcome, welcome. So I just wanted to stop in for a quick visit because I have not been in a few days, in a little bit. And I have you can see a teddy bear behind me. There's a teddy bear on the chair behind me. And so the teddy bear behind there is what I use when I'm doing distance Reiki sessions on people, when I'm doing distance healing with people, when I'm helping clear energy and help remove blocks. I use those teddy bears. Those teddy bears represent people. So when I'm doing those work, and I am with clients all week this week. So it's been a crazy week. I'm doing 6-7 clients a day, 5-6 clients a day, depending on the day, plus teaching every night and creating in between. So I haven't had time for here, but if you're not on my TikTok, I am on TikTok, and I am reintroducing the cards on TikTok, and they're also on my Instagram. Of course, TikTok shares it to Instagram, those automatic things that it does. But on Instagram, I'm putting all of the new meanings, the meanings that are with the cards as they're being created, is going onto Instagram, just to hold myself accountable, also to be able to get them all finished and out. So every day I have to write them, some are written, up to certain numbers written. But yeah, so you can always go to TikTok, Instagram to see my daily messages when I'm not here. You can also go to my YouTube channel, She Is Podcast, and Corrie Thorne, the Spiritual Healer. Both of them always have new content. There's 2 new meditations and discussions that I'm having on my Corrie Thorne, the Spiritual Healer as well. You're on TikTok? I'm now on TikTok. Well, I always had an account. So this is where I had to be a little bit courageous. I had a TikTok account from forever ago. I set it up and I mean, I'm used to being on live. I have no idea why I would not go on TikTok. I had a resistance to TikTok. Still kind of do, not going to lie. I don't really get but it is what it is. It's where you have to be, apparently. So I do have the cards going on TikTok, and so I am sharing them in there as well. But my other YouTube channel, She Is Podcast, is where a lot of my attention is going, along with, of course, my other YouTube. I am working to get my YouTube really improved. I'm working on improving YouTube. How can I improve? That's a constant thing. And I really push that in a lot of my work. How can I be the improvement in me? How can I bring myself? You don't have competition. I always look at life as not a competition. It's about how can you be the best version of you today and every day. I know, Raina, right? It's like keeping up with technology is so hard. Good morning, Maria and Jenna. Good morning. And Lindsay, good morning. I think, and Sydney, good morning. I think everyone else I've said good morning to. So I just want to come in and give a quick few cards of inspiration. I have to save my voice still. So I still have a lot of issues with my voice. I'm still having a lot of health issues through this area right now that we're still trying to figure out. I have my dear friend who's a healer as well, and she's a professional clearer. She lives in New Mexico. Her name's Althea Gray, and Althea is working with me in conjunction to the fact that there's some energies that are just kind of that I'm working through. So Althea does light body measurement. She teaches the professional clearers course. She's amazing as well. And she doesn't do a lot of lives and stuff. She's mostly through her website, altheagray.com. Love my friend. And we met in Austin a few years ago. So We're really, and I always say, don't anyone work on me. Don't anyone out there work on my throat. And that's some of the issues. A lot of people are trying to help me by sending healing, like working on my throat and like doing healing sessions and stuff, or, sending out medicine towards me. Don't send medicine towards me. I got to clear all of this energy. Because I'm working on myself, and Althea is working right now to clear that energy, to try to get my throat back. I'm losing my voice, and I know it got to do with my neurological. I love you all, and you can send prayers and good wish and like love, light. Send me light. Send light. And so, good morning, Jaden. And so today's card is the Eye of the Storm. And there's been a lot of stormy energy, and there's been a lot of storms. If you watch my weekly forecast, my channeled messages that I do, I've been speaking a lot. So if you go to my YouTube, and it's also on Facebook, but if you're on my YouTube, or you go to my YouTube channel and you see me doing the channeled messages, I spoke about some big storms. There's some earthquakey kind of energy, and sure shit, there has been. Like, there was a few weeks ago, I called when there was one hitting in the US, and then another flood when the flood was hitting in Australia, and then another flood was hitting. And it's got more to do with the floods that are happening within us. Like, when we're going through changes and shifts, it's also within us, but there's been some big storms. And so inside of us, and in our own storms and in our own weather, where we are. And so this is my deck of oracle cards for anyone who's wondering, anyone who don't know, who's not following, and you're new. I always forget people are new. And so this is my new deck of oracle cards that hopefully we'll be able to get to print by summer. There's been a lot of financial things happening around, a lot of things that have come up this has been a costly freaking year. Just saying. And so this card is the Eye of the Storm. Her name is Serenity, and she's got every bit of like, it's like when we believe there's nothing working in our favor, there's no one there, there's no luck on my side, there's always storms, and I'm always getting swept away, nothing's working out. That magic and miracles is still out there. We have to be the eye in our storm. We have to find our inner peace. We have to come home to here. We have to hunker down. We have to start thinking of everything that we are doing that we can do to be a change in our own lives. How can I start to make changes in my lives that can bring me towards a more healthy future? How can I be my own change? And when you start to be able to go work from that place, you start to raise your vibration. You start to think in a different way. So a lot of my work that I'm doing right now and what I'm recording is about being able to be the witness of your own life, and to be able to step into you and know how to step back and away from you, and to step back into you, and to step into you and into your energy, and then step away and say, you know what, if I take a good look at me, if I took a good look at everything that I'm allowing, everything that's keeping me from my inner peace, every one of those emotional stories that I am attaching to, that I'm making, that I'm causing the wind, I'm part of my storm. And so when you start to recognize that you are a part of your storm, that if you can just quiet your mind. And that don't mean trying to stop your thoughts, because you're always going to have your thoughts, and you're always going to have the memories of the past, but it doesn't own us when we don't let it own us. And so if you look really closely at her, she has a little ladybug on her shoulder. Luck is on her side. There's transformation. There is the Pegasus power. She's a unicorn, above Pegasus, unicorn, whatever you want to call her. And you got to believe in the magic, and the magic is within you. So you have to believe in you. You have to have faith in you. If you can have such faith in something outside of you, how can you not have faith in you? If we believe that we are of that God consciousness, we are the child of the God consciousness, whatever that means for you, then you have to believe that there's something inside of you that is able to give you the strength and courage in the tough times, to hold you, to keep you safe, to help you be able to move forward. And sometimes we need to have those destructions, and we have to have these experiences so that we can see everything that wasn't working, so that we can do the repair work in our foundation, to be strong enough to be able to move forward and to not allow it to be a part of the future again. Right? Ladybug's your favorite thing? You have a huge collection? Well, see there, Lucy, there's a reason why you were here this morning. There's your message of the morning, right? And you were saying this resonates with you. You love this card. And so serenity. You have to make peace with your past. You have to make peace with the lessons, with the things you've learned. And you even have to let go of, holding on to the claim to fame of, I once did this. I once fit in those pants. I once was here. I once did this. I once accomplished this. I once had this big career. I was one time this, and then all that's gone. If you keep trying to return to all of those things, you keep causing yourself more misery. And, I once had a good life. I once had, well, sure shit. We all have once had something. And so what we have right now, what do we still have right now? What is still here that can bring joy and happiness within my life? What is possible from right here? Not once was. And if you live in the once upon a time stories and what once was, then you're always going to be in this fantasy dreamland that you're trying to create into reality that ultimately leads to more misery. That will always lead to more misery. Being the you of today, being the truth of you, of who you are today, and say, from who I am today, what do I want to bring forward into my future? What do I feel is important and a priority to me that I want to bring forward? And look at it from that way. And when you can go to this place and this is where your biggest power is. It is right here, right now. Who can I be from here today? And that's your message with that card. I just want to look at my comments a little bit here. You resonate with that as well, Missy? Yeah. And so there's a lot of hello everyone else who's joined in. And yeah, good, Jaden. I'm glad you love this message. And right, and so these messages always appear for those who need them in the moment. And there's something that resonates to all of us. No matter how many times I pull these cards, they're all based on the life that I somehow lived. And so this journey and everything, when I sit next to these cards, I've had to go through some major transformations since I start introducing these cards. These cards have kicked my ass. These cards are about emotional, spiritual maturity. They're about recognizing no matter how much you think you're hiding your attitude, and the one thing that affects us most in our lives is not other people, is our own attitude towards ourselves, towards others, towards life. And every time that we step up to feel like we have to be at war, to be at battle, to be justifying, explaining, criticizing, judging, kind of coming down on everybody who has a different thought, different opinion, it's taking us away from our inner peace. You know who you are. You know your truth. And when you can come into alignment with this, it doesn't matter what else is happening out in the world. What matters is how you show up for you, how you be present for you, and that you believe that you have that magic inside of you, and that miracles come when we start taking action steps towards us, towards the life that we want to live. Let yourself see your own beauty. Let yourself see your own light and live in that. It is such a transformation. And so through these cards, I have seen my own growth. I have seen where I've been. I've seen all the essence of from where I've been to where I am today. And I'm turning 50 tomorrow. And so into that journey, I even found myself last week having a little sitting on the couch, and I'm doing a bunch of writing, and all of a sudden it's like just overpowering sense of like, holy fuck, what have I done in the past 50 years of my life? Like, I still don't even own a house. Like, what have I done? I've lived in somebody else's house. I'm still renting. I just found myself having a little moment, but I know it to not be true. So I didn't get a personal attachment to the thoughts. I didn't build a relationship of the day with turning myself into a victim of the day. I recognized they were thoughts that were leaving. They're the old me. They're the old things that were taking place, and they were showing me my life and showing me where I've been. And then I could pick up the golden nuggets, and I could pick up what I learned from the lessons and what I have created and the life I have created. I am a creator. I am a dreamer, and I've lived a dreamer's life. I've lived a creator's life. I've lived a life of being, a little more on the edge, on the not knowing what tomorrow is. So I'm very good with being okay with the nothing energy and not knowing, and being and feeling okay to enter into that space. So I've created a lot. I've done a lot of things right in my life. And that's what you have to look at, is when you're having those moments, when you're going spiraling, don't get attached. So all of these cards are for everybody that we're doing this morning. I don't have much time. I'm in between clients, so I just wanted to come in and just do a few cards. So every card that I pull is for everyone. So is there anything for me? These messages are for everybody. And so take these cards and let them sit into your heart, because they are about spiritual, emotional growth. They're about our attitudes. They're about the parts of us that we think that we are hiding from the world, or we're hiding from ourselves. And in my more than existing work and in my book, and all that I do now, I say, what I really notice is that the parts that people are trying to bring forward and wanting to coach, wanting to heal, wanting to be the best of, wanting to bring into the light, is actually the parts of us that we have to let go of, because that's what has been protecting the truth of you forever. So that's the parts that you're always defending, and but that's my true self. No, it's not. When you can let go of everything of what you think you are and what you have created, that's called personas. And when you can take off the mask and let all of that go, and you can just strip it all down, that's when you start to find your truth. And your truth was prior to somebody telling you you were not you were not good, you were not beautiful, you were not. It was the before you had to start protecting yourself, defending yourself, before you had to start trying to put on an act to be the good kid, to be the oldest child, to be the perfect child, to be anything. It was when you were just innocent. You were just. And so that's the parts of us that we're supposed to be bringing into the more than existing. The truth, not the rebel, not the defiance, not the not the know-it-all, not the person in control, not the business person, not the salesman. Not all of that is what you're supposed to be bringing into the more than existing. When you start to step into your truth, is that's when you let it all go and you say, you know what? I really don't know who I am, because I've been living all of this for so long, and it's all been a part of the story, what we bring into our reality, what we create the image of what we want the world to see. And when you can become a nobody and you become nothing, you realize that we are everything within us that we need to be, and it's all within us, and that we have the opportunity to create from there. That's when the world starts to change. That's when we start to change. So I've stripped it all away. I've done all of that. It's okay for things to be good, even what they are, right? Yeah. And so it's like, it's not going to be the best day, but it's a day, right? And you're here to have the day. Since I am 40 now, it kind of freaks me out. Yeah, and it's like it's not, and it's like you got 40 years of you have, and so we may have untapped wisdom in us, but we only have 40 years of knowledge. I only have 50 years of knowledge upon that earth. And in reality, that's a little speck. So you don't know it all. I live as if I know nothing, and I could be wrong. And that's the truth. And so when you can start to live from there, you know, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying this is how I feel today. This is what I'm experiencing today. This is what's coming through me today. But my wisdom is years, lifetimes and lifetimes. I've lived thousands of lives. I'm a channel. I'm a mystic. I've been here 1,000 times over, but that's not the essence of who I am at my core. That's everything that flows through me. So clearing that out gives you space. And so, yeah, your first time on here in a while, and it's like I was meant to be here right now today. Exactly. And that's how energy works, Lucy, right? That's how energy works. Yeah. And so embracing and taking these moments and allowing them to just show you this is synchronicity. This is the magic. This is how it works. And we're right where we are supposed to be, experiencing what we're supposed to be experiencing. And it may freaking suck. I'm not saying your experiences are going to be all perfect and wonderful, but you can't stop what you can't stop, and you can't control the fated experiences from happening. And so when I was just talking about this recently, hold on. So I was just talking about this recently, and I just finished saying, I'm like, it's funny. So there's not one moment of our lives, not one. There's not one moment of our lives that's guaranteed. There's not one tomorrow that's guaranteed. There's not one experience that's guaranteed, like other than birth and death, right? And so there's nothing that is guaranteed. But it's funny, when the world announced to us that we had to live in fear of dying, do you not see how freaked the fuck out the world became? Sorry, I didn't mean swear. So we don't realize how freaked out we became about dying, about our existence, when somebody said to us, we need to be afraid of dying. We need to be afraid of not being here. Up until that, you created a story and a reality about tomorrow was going to come. You had all the things that you need and everything was going to be there and you're going to have everything. And look at that. You start to believe you got to be in fear of dying. Your life is not, tomorrow is not guaranteed. The next moment is not guaranteed. That's just there, right? It's like death is inevitable. Now, it doesn't mean we do stupid things. We could be cautious. But why didn't we make an announcement and say, we're just going to take some precautions? Why does it instill such fear, right? Then the story of fear manipulations to get you to force to believe. And so then that is conditioned to us. You do that to yourself. We do that within our own selves. We condition ourselves to live in fear because you have been conditioned to it in the world, right? And so you love my swearing. Yeah, I know. I do it. My F-bombs just can't help me F-bombs, right? They're just there. And so that essence of when that was announced, that trigger hit. And the whole world became triggered, like a big portion. But that instinctual, that primal instinct to go into fight, flight, freeze, protect, defend, like it's crazy how the world becomes crazy in that energy. And all because there was a motive, there was something there that wanted that fear story to take hold, to get grip. And when it takes grip, it's like just like it spreads out. And we do that within ourselves, and we be that within ourselves when we believe something, right? Yes. And, death has been my fear lately. And why is it your fear, right? Why is it the fear story? And so we have a fear of endings. And that's the truth. We have a fear of endings. There's a fear of endings because we're taught that if something ends, everything is dead, everything is gone, we don't have things anymore. And because we have personal experience with death. We have personal experience with losing our loved ones. And when we lose our loved ones, a part of us feels as if it is gone, it is dead. And so a part of our existence up on earth is definitely dead. A part of us is definitely there. So we have personal experience. I'm afraid of it happening, but that same experience cannot happen again. That exact same experience, if it happens again, it's going to be somebody different. It's going to be somebody new, right? It's going to be somebody in a different, so the story is not the same. So you're allowed to be afraid, but fear can't dictate and rule our lives because it cripples us, it numbs us, it holds us back. And this takes time. This is what I work on with people. This is how I help people work through this. It's because we got to do the healing work to be able to move beyond that. You can tell yourself the story, but you got to do the work. You can say, oh, I just forgive them, or I just got over that. No, you didn't. Because until you are triggered, as long as you keep your world comfortable or everybody around you keeps your world comfortable, then you're over it, right? You're over it. You're done. But the moment you're triggered, then you react and respond, and then you spiral out of control. So you never did the healing work. You just convinced yourself of a story. And that's the difference. That's how we get that. That's how come the foundations are weak. As long as the world is comfortable, as long as we can be comfortable, as long as I can tell myself a narrative, I believe myself to be safe. I believe myself to be over it. I believe myself to have forgiven somebody. But the moment you're triggered, so we work on the triggers. We work on being able to move beyond the attitudes, right? To heal, to do the actual healing work, to be able to reignite you with the truth of your heart, the truth with your intuition, to recognize the truth of what is your true pains, not everything else that is cluttered. We clear the clutter. We do that work. And so, yeah, and that's where the healing has to come in. Because there's these broken little fibers. It's like a fiber optic cable. Once you snap that cable and it buckles and bends, even if it's one little thread that's broken in there, the cable doesn't work anymore. Everything has to work together in order to have a proper connection. And that's why I created More Than Existing. Right? And that's why behind all of that work. And so this is the beautiful medicine woman. She's your last card because I do have to go. I have a client. And so this card, I'll pull her up. She is number 21. She is number 21, and she is Marie. She is the medicine woman. And we are so rooted and grounded in our stories, in our conditioning, in the identities that we keep trying to create and how we keep trying to convince the world. And we get so rooted in that. But if we can see ourselves rooted and grounded in love, if we can see ourselves rooted and grounded in what we need to nurture us, to provide for us, that is all within us, is that she knows her light, she knows her power, she knows who she is. She can stand within the darkness, she can walk into that cave like Freud's the hero's journey, and she can know what she's going to find the parts of her, the truth of her, that she has to take the journey to the darkness, into the stories of her. And that's where I went. I did the hero's journey, and then I took the hero's journey, but then I took the dark night of the soul, and I went into the dark night of the soul journey, and I traveled through depression, narcissistic tendencies. I traveled through my own bullshit. I traveled through my role that I played in every scenario, every relationship that I was in. I traveled those journeys. I looked at my own behavior, my own actions, the why of what, the hows and the whys of where I was, and to see myself beyond a reflection, to witness my own behaviors, to be the observer of a life that I have lived and the life that I want to live. And then I started to travel into there. And so that medicine woman, which is what I am, right at the core of me, right down to the channel, I am passed down generational, rooted in love of medicine woman. But most of my family who had those gifts, or the people before, never used them because fear controlled the lives, and the fear of, of a religion, or the fear of being ourselves. And so to get to me, to get to my truth, was I had to walk through all of my own stories to get there. And that rooted and grounded, then start to see, is that you can, when you know that you have this light inside, when you recognize that you have this, you can step into these things, you can explore, and you can have an open mind to sit in and listen. It doesn't mean it's going to change your mind. It's going to give you clarity around who you are and why you are here. And that to live in my calling, to live in my why, it's not that I have to force this life, or that I have to go find this big purpose. Is to be able to live on purpose. You're here to be able to live on purpose, to do the right things for the right reasons. And that doesn't mean to go out and have to conquer and destroy the world. It means that when you have your truth, you recognize how much more powerful to do things from a loving way can truly be the change that you want to see. And so she knows that she can walk. So she's behind her is her light. She is in the depth of the darkness. She is taking the journey because she knows that she is rooted and grounded in the ancestor love, but also in what is in us to the core. We are built with an innate ability to have strength, to have courage, to have the power within, to have the light within. The problem is it gets mixed with the human contamination and the virus of the mind, the thoughts that we have to be better than, more than, to do more, to conquer, to those things. And that is not our mission. And when you can return to the essence of that strength and the courage, is to be able to face myself, to have the courage to do the right thing, to do the healing, to stop living in my little white lies, and to be able to be honest with myself, to be truthful with myself, to be courageous, to face the parts of me that I've been unwilling to face, to heal the unseen wounds, to be able to allow myself to heal, to be able to embrace the journey. And from there, we can start to walk back with pride, with confidence, to know that you're going to have to face challenges, but the challenges doesn't own you. The past doesn't have ownership. Who you are today is the part of you that has the power to do what needs to be for your tomorrow. And you have to live from that. So I hope these cards resonate with you. I hope this helps you in some way, and helps you today to be able to pause, to take a breath, to breathe through. We're in full Aries right now, and there's a lot of fire. So there's a lot of fire igniting within us. It doesn't mean we have to go conquer the world. It means we have to allow some of the old stuff to burn away. So just want to read this last bit. Right? Channel your, right? You can only laugh. Exactly. And wow. Good, Jaden. I'm right. Glad you got a little wow out of that, a little aha moment, right? There's a lot to explore in us, right? Yeah, it's a lot of what we do. Yes, we don't have, well, we got sun here. It's just kind of like hazy kind of sun. Thank you for being here, Lucy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, Good. I'm glad this resonated with everyone. So thank you for being here with me today. Good. Yay. I'm glad, Jaden. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being with me. I do have to go. I have a client to work with. Much love. And I hopefully, I don't know if I'll get in tomorrow. I'll see. I'll see if I can get in on my birthday. Um, Much love. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye. Check out my YouTube. Subscribe if you're going to check out my videos. Subscribe, subscribe. It helps build the YouTube channel and helps get the videos out there. And you can also please share these videos. Please share these videos. It gets our messages out there, and it gets our Facebook and our YouTubes back into the stream because they're trying to shrink us. Much love.